What is up, guys? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning. Good morning. Hope everybody's having a great day today. Let's jump right into this, guys. So we're having a morning stream market open. We're going to go over a couple things here. Market is honestly going absolutely crazy right now. Things are, I think today's going to be a wacky day, guys. So be ready. Bitcoin coming off of new highs right now, sitting at around 111.4. Right now, we did top out so far for Bitcoin at around 111.9, close to that 112 area. So things are looking great for crypto. Why are we booming like crazy right now while the rest of the market seems to be going through some turmoil? We're going to be covering here in a minute as the markets open up. Let's see here. I think S&P just opened up right now, and you guys can see as of yesterday, the S&P dropped down. We talked about this on yesterday's evening stream. So all right, markets are open. Looks like Bitcoin is reacting positively, so this is a good thing here. Let's see what's going on, guys. Welcome, good morning, happy market open. We're gonna have a crazy day today, guys. Crazy day today. A couple things going on right now. We have Sui right now is going through a hack. I don't know if it's directly through Sui or through another project that's on Sui. We're gonna actually go over it real quick. I didn't read through the actual article, but right now Sui blockchain is going through something as far as some kind of a hack. So welcome, guys. Market just opened up. We are going to keep an eye out on the S&P. As of right now, you guys can see we did see a big sell-off last night, right? And what's crazy is we're seeing some turmoil going on with the bond market right now, the actual stock market. We're going to go over all that, but right now Bitcoin seems to be the safe haven right now for investors, which is absolutely insane. Not insane thinking we already knew this was going to happen one day, but I think it's what's crazy is really witnessing this happening so fast with investors, especially on Wall Street, flocking into Bitcoin as a safe haven right now because of the U.S. market, the U.S. bond market. Everything right now is we're living in some crazy times right now. Bitcoin 111.5 right now, looking great so far. Our all-time high right there at right under 112K. Are we gonna break it right now? We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out here. So looks like the S&P is starting to react positively as well. So we'll see how this plays out. Big resistance level at around the 58.48 level. So we'll see how that plays out. Real quick, while we get back to there, Sui's biggest liquidity provider is this Centis, hit by a $260 million hack. Sui-based tokens plummet 90%. Let's pull up Sui real quick and see what's going on. Yeah, look at this. Sui definitely took a nice little dump earlier in regards to this. That stinks because Sui's been doing so freaking well in the last year. I mean, honestly, nothing too bad. It looked like it came up, bounced off the, it came up, hit its head at the 236 at around $4.18. I mean, right now it is getting a little bit of a negative reaction, but you can see it's still hovering on the daily, bouncing above that 20-day moving average. So still bullish in my opinion for Sui. So if you are involved in Sui, we'll pull up Sui's, we'll pull it up on the DEX. If you're involved in Sui, oh my God, look at this, guys. Holy crap. Look at Sui right now. Not the actual Sui, but look at its ecosystem. Everything's down like 80, 90% right now. That is crazy. Holy crap. That's crazy. This might be a big move. Wally's down 37% right now. Look at this. This might be a play, in my opinion, We've seen this happen plenty of times with different ecosystems where they go through this. And if this can easily get resolved, you'll see a lot of this money come flowing right back. So, I mean, it is a risky play, in my opinion. But at the same time, the higher the risk, potentially the higher the money you could make, right? Could be higher the profits. So I would be very careful. TJ, what's going on, brother? Good morning. Good morning. Let's get back. So Bitcoin, Punk, what's going on, brother? Right now, Bitcoin having a little bit of a, right now, like I told you guys, with the market opening up, right now, we're in a weird place. We're in a weird place right now. The S&P last night before the market ended, it took a crap. If you guys remember in last night's stream, we talked about this. The U.S. basically had an auction on the 20-year bonds, and it came back very, very negative, only being able to sell about $15-16 billion worth of bonds, which is probably one of the worst times for sales on bonds. And the reason is because it goes back to just a week ago with Moody's, their deduction in the AAA credit score for the United States. A lot of countries, a lot of people are thinking it's a little too high risk for them to buy U.S. bonds for right now. With that being said, yesterday we saw a drop of about 1%, 1.5% against S&P, NASDAQ, and the Dow Jones for yesterday. So gold technically down today. Gold was doing pretty good as of yesterday as well. Maybe thinking that people were going to start piling in back into gold as a safe haven. But what have they been piling in on right now? They've been piling in on Bitcoin. Bitcoin seems to be gold, right? Seems to be the store of value right now. Seems to be the safe haven. Seems to be the only thing right now, as of today, that's really making a run and holding solid and actually seeing gains is Bitcoin right now. Now, it's not, I'm not going to say that alts aren't seeing somewhat of some moves, because, I mean, if you look at the daily and the alts right now, I mean, you have Fartcoin up 19%. That's awesome. S&P, SPX, what is this, the 6,900? Yeah, up 21%. So alts are starting to come alive as well. Yesterday, we were seeing not really much movement in alts, but today looks like alts are starting to come alive. We need Bitcoin to really hold some solid levels here, because if we start seeing Bitcoin potentially retracing, breaking below this 20 this moving average right here, which is really only in the 30 minutes, so it's not going to be a big deal. But if we start seeing Bitcoin retracing back down towards this like 109s, 108s, it's going to probably dampen the movement for alts for right now. So we're going to definitely have to keep an eye out on that. Let's see. For right now, just off of looking, we're going to have some support levels somewhere around this 110.5 if we do come down on that. So, Jay, what's going on? Punk said I have their wallet. Cetus protocol, damn it. Yeah, they're going through a hack right now, bro. I mean, I ain't going to lie with you, bro. Right now, Sui looks cooked right now. Looks absolutely cooked. I mean, if you look across the board right now, some of the top projects on Sui are down 80, 75%, 92%, 41%. I mean, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely craziness right now. And like I expected before the market opened up, I think we have so much shit going on right now, so much shit. Let's go back here real quick. So, I hope I'm saying this right. Is it Cetus? Cetus protocol, the largest DEX on the Sui network, was exploited, trading to a halt and trading in drained liquidity pools. Oh my God, that's crazy. That is crazy, bro. If this happened on Solana, it would be like, I mean, you're talking about billions and billions of dollars being lost. This is crazy. Solana's gone through something similar. I will tell you this. Sui probably needs to go through this, unfortunately, for them to build back better, right? No pun intended on that, but to build back better and to prevent shit like this from happening when, you know, they're a multi-billion-dollar, you know, ecosystem, which I'm sure they're probably already in the billions, but you know what I'm saying. Right now they're down, or what was liquidated was 260 million. It could be far worse, right? If something like this happened to Solana, being, you know, so vastly bigger than something like Sui. So, Ricky, what's going on, brother? Good morning. I know a lot of you guys have work, stuff like that, so I wanted to pull something up here. We'll keep the chart up for Bitcoin. You guys remember yesterday we looked at the article in regards to Jay, what's going on? Remember we looked at an article yesterday in regards to the stable coins, right? Stable coins, basically the bill got passed, the Genesis Act. So we're going to start seeing probably some big movement with stable coins, a lot of money coming into stable coins, obviously bringing it into crypto. Let me see here, bring this up here.
Take a look at the price of Bitcoin now at record levels, topped 111,000 for a brief moment. Right now, the cryptocurrency trading about 110,716. Joining us right now, Anthony Scaramucci, founder and managing partner of Skybridge Capital. Explain the move, Anthony, because we've now diverged again from all sorts of things. It seems to go along with something, and then it seems to not go along with things.
So if I could really explain the move, Andrew, I would stop working. So I can't explain the move. What I can say, though, is a bipartisan commitment to stablecoin legislation, the Genius Act, and of course you have the Stable Act coming up. I know Joe Kernan's got to love the fact that these two acts are called Stable Genius. Am I right? So
yeah,
you've got
exactly.
the two, right? So you've got the
main coin is Covfefe, isn't it?
Yeah. So you've got Joe. I know you love Stable and Genius when those words are put together, but these are two.
The shoe fits.
Listen, it's a bipartisan act, and I think it's putting to bed the idea that we're going to have a partisan issue around regulation in Bitcoin. And by the way, this is really along the David Sachs theory, where we've got to make Bitcoin bipartisan. If we're really going to create a crypto reserve for the United States, and you guys know this, we have states now that have passed crypto reserves.
Texas.
Countries, sovereign wealth funds are buying it. And so this sort of paves the way for a bipartisan commitment to Bitcoin, but it also opens up pathways for foundations, endowments, institutional investors. And so, Andrew, I think this move is Bitcoin, when you're looking at it as a capital allocator, it's sort of the Dow of crypto.
44, bro. It's
And so therefore people are taking a toehold position. It's thinly volumed in terms of the amount of supply that's out there. And that's what's pushing the price up so aggressively.
In terms of what's going on with the president, and I know you have particular views about the president, but I imagine there's got to be some views that are actually, I mean, you've had a criticism of him, but some positive views. He's having this meeting or dinner with all of the crypto world. What are we supposed to think about that?
If you think it might rain later, then all you need is this bearskin heavy storm rain jacket. That's because this is the only...
Oh, and I've had this conversation with Joe. There were some things he was doing in the tariffs I didn't like. He paused the tariffs. I came on the air and praised that. I'm not just going to be anti-Trump. He's done a lot of good things on the crypto piece. He's done some good things for the banks. He set up a course for some deregulation that I think is positive for growth. But alongside of that, unfortunately, you're picking up some of the meme activity, or you're picking up the notion that the president's actually going to be out there measuring people's wallets in his own meme coin to provide him access. And so, listen, it's probably inside the spirit of the law, Andrew, and the letter of the law, if you will, but it doesn't feel right to a lot of people. I just think it slows down. It gums up the works for crypto, and it makes people think of the unseemly side.
This guy hates, he hates Trump. I mean, it is what it is. But the point of all that is basically that stable coins, obviously the Stablecoin Act was part of that bill. It got approved, right? So we covered this yesterday. So, I mean, as things move forward, we're going to start seeing a lot of banks being able to hold stable coins and a lot of money being pretty much put into stable coins, which is backed by the dollar, right? It's pegged by the dollar. So I think, like I said, right now, if you were to talk to people that aren't really familiar with crypto and you bring up stable coins, which I've done plenty of times, and they're kind of looking at you like, what the hell is a stable coin? I think 5 years down the road, people are going to really understand what stable coins are and potentially hold a lot of, I'm telling you, the normal citizen is going to have DeFi wallets in the near future. People are going to be holding, just like they have bank accounts and their bank apps, they're going to have freaking DeFi wallets, and they're going to be holding their USDC, and if Tether's still around, which it most likely will, they'll be holding, instead of just holding like US dollar, USD, $100 in their wallet, they'll have, $100 in stable coins, right? Potentially ready so they can send, to family members or across the the world. Remember the article that we talked about the other day about the government right now wants to actually tax anybody that's working in the United States legally, right? But they're sending money out abroad, right? Which a lot of people do. And there's no problem with that. But the United States is like, well, we want to tax, 10% on that. What's a way around that? Well, a way around that is crypto, right? Having their family, maybe they have them download a Phantom wallet, which sounds bizarre now, right? But in 10 years, it's not. Where you're going to have them download a Phantom wallet and they're going to be sending Solana or USDC through Solana network for freaking, they'll send a few $1,000s and it'll cost them not even $1 to send, So I think when that does happen, companies like Western Union and a lot of these companies that we know right now survive solely off of stuff like that, sending money international, right? I think a lot of those companies they're going to be obsolete. They're going to be gone in the next probably less than 5 years, in my opinion. So, Punk said they weren't on the radar, but now they are because getting bigger. Are you talking about for Sui? You're talking about for Sui? Let's look at the U.S. market real quick and see. So right now, the U.S. market, S&P is kind of flat. The NASDAQ is up about 0.1%. The Dow Jones is flat. The VIX is kind of up 1%. So I would say that's flat. And the dollar is pretty much flat as well. So right now, it's crazy because you have all that. You would think like gold is pumping. Gold's not really doing much at all. Oil's down. But you know what is up? Everything in freaking crypto right now is technically up right now. I think we've hit our spot, guys, where everybody's just pretty much looking at crypto right now like it's a safe haven. Safe haven. Now we need some of this money that's flowing into the crypto market. We need it to diversify, right? We need to diversify right now. As far as Bitcoin dominance across the board, like we talked about yesterday, we were approaching this 64.3 area. It looks like we came up, we've hit our head. And so far, it looks like we have not been able to break above, which is good. Hopefully, we can start seeing dominance start coming down. Because we definitely want to see dominance start coming down, which is going to basically help the alts start moving up, right? This doesn't necessarily mean that Bitcoin's price is going to come down. This just means that we're seeing money not only flowing strictly into Bitcoin, but flowing across the board over into like Solana and Ethereum, right? Right when you see dominance start coming down, the first thing that's going to be moving is going to be Ethereum, XRP, Solana, right? You'll start seeing Memecoins start breaking out. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. For as far as like Bitcoin price, we're there, right? All eyes are on crypto right now. All eyes are on crypto because it is the safe haven as of this morning. But dominance is not allowing us to really see these alts break out, right? We're seeing alts in the green, cute, it's cool, right? 4 or 5%, but we haven't seen that massive, like, we're like, holy shit, something's just breaking out. If you guys know of anything right now that is breaking out, I mean like breaking out right now, let me know. I'm going to actually check on crypto.com. I'm going to check on crypto.com and let's see if there's anything breaking out real quick. EOS, thank you so much for the $5 super chat, bro. Oh, I appreciate that. Said for a coffee, bro, on my way to work, 8 to 5. Hey, keep grinding, bro. Cause you never know. You could be quitting that job here soon. Hopefully, if everything plays out correctly, right? Thank you again, brother, for the $5 super chat. I really do appreciate that, man. Let's see here. So top movers right now, we have Zbeck, which is Flip. Flip's in the house if he's here. We have Zbeck running ELA up 26%. Pocket Network, Hee. Anime Coin, Wormhole, Fartcoin. Let's see here. Libra, Gina, right, and BitSensor. Maniki and Pepe, what's going on? We need those running. Bitcoin right now is still a safe haven, but I mean, I told you guys this last night, and we're good. But I said if the freaking stock market is really struggling today and even moving forward right now, because I'm telling you guys on the back end, things are not looking good for the market particularly. And I mean, the market's been looking juicy. I'm talking about a lot of things like with the bond market. We'll talk about this real quick. No, I do not want to sign up. Let's see here. So the Dow sinks 800 points as bond market starts to freak out over Trump's tax bill. So the stocks, bonds, and dollars fell on Wednesday as concerns mount about the premier status of American assets. The Dow closed lower by 817 points or 1.9%. And this was within literally an hour before the market closed last night. It was a big move. The broader S&P 500 slid 1.6%, and the tech-heavy NASDAQ composite fell 1.4%. The three major indexes each posted their worst day in 1 month. Stocks moved sharply lower, and bonds sold off after 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time auction for the 20-year Treasury notes that saw a weak demand and was disappointing, according to Chip. So while the 20-year Treasury note usually garners less attention than the 10-year and the 30-year, all eyes have been on investors' perception of Treasuries since Moody's on Friday. The Treasury sold $16 billion worth of 20-year bonds, and the auction settled with the 20-year Treasury yield above 5%, signaling investors are demanding higher rates to hold the U.S. debt. And if you guys understand that, investors are demanding higher rates to hold the U.S. debt. What does that mean? Well, they're looking at it as it's risky, right? Because they're like, is the U.S. actually paying back their debt? Which, I mean, are they? That's the question. So a lot of these people, which you go back 10, 20 years ago, would be all over this because it was sure money, right? It was sure money. You buy these bonds, you're going to get a whatever, 5%, 10%, whatever the case is back on your investment. It's sure money. Now you're talking about it's a risky business because the debt keeps rising. And now with this Moody's coming out, a week ago, technically, they downgraded the credit score of the United States essentially, right? And you guys know if you have a bad credit score, it makes hard for to do things as far as financially loaning money or getting loans and stuff like that. So this is basically why we've seen the markets as of last night kind of not looking the best. And I mean stock market. Crypto, on the other end, has become the safe haven for right now as far as where investors are seeing, all right, well, you know what? Even if this is short term, right? Thinking Wall Street, even if this is short term, Bitcoin just seems to be on a rally. Let me move out of the S&P. Let me move out of the NASDAQ. Let me move out of the Dow Jones. Let's buy in on Bitcoin right now, even if it's temporary. Let's ride this wave right now until the U.S. can figure out what's going on with these bonds. And let me just give you a little hint. After yesterday with the bonds, what do you think the U.S. is going to do? They're going to start buying their own bonds back, right? Basically injecting liquidity. When that does happen, that will be a countermeasure against something like what we're seeing with Bitcoin, because now you're seeing the U.S. buying its bonds back. Investors will come flying back into the bonds and stuff like that. So that's not as of now, and it's not going to be something that's just going to happen today or tomorrow. So right now, Bitcoin is reaping the benefits of all this as of now. So Ricky said, we need this money in Myro and Maniki. We do. Let's check out what's going on with DeFi for right now. Is there any big movers on the watch list? What's going on with Deck Screener? Uh-oh. There we go. I was like, did Deck Screener get hacked? So it looks like we've already said like 7 times already, Fartcoin is the, look at, bro, Ricky, you sold your Fartcoin, didn't you, bro? You sold your freaking Fartcoin. This shit's at $1.55 right now, bro. Jay said, make sure you guys slap that like button, please. Thank you. Please, please, please. We're going to be having morning streams on the regular, morning and evening now. Told you guys we're about to start pumping this up. Fartcoin at $1.55, bro. Absolutely crazy. $155 billion market cap. Fartcoin's coming for that #1 spot for memes. Armium Trust. Who's EOS? I think EOS is the one that's in that. If you're still listening, brother, thank you again for the $5 super chat. You see how you are up right now, 15%. And like I said the other day when you asked, keep an eye out on gold, right? Gold's been doing particularly, it's been doing a lot better in the last week. You can see we had that drop. Gold has been coming up slightly with a little bit of the scare in the markets as of now. Today it is slightly down about 0.5%, but you can see this project right here is really, you can say it's based off of gold. What they're doing is they're using a lot of the liquidity and a lot of the profits. They're buying gold and then selling the gold and then buying back on this project. I know it sounds a little confusing, but it basically is moving with gold's price. So if you're long term on gold, this could be a project that you could look for. This project might end up doing something big if gold continues to break out, right? Right now, this is on the Chronos network, and the market cap's only at $600,000. So I mean, it does have a lot of potential to move. Billy, I know Flip's probably not in here. I know he's probably working, but Billy holding kind of strong. Possible W pattern that we're looking at on Billy right here. We might see a nice little breakout on Billy right here. Potentially. We'll see. We talked about this yesterday. We talked about this on our members only stream. Guys, I'm telling you this right now. If even Bitcoin just stays where it's at right now, I mean, just take it in. Bitcoin is at freaking $111,000, right? If you've been around the crypto space for at least 2 years, seeing Bitcoin at over $110,000 is monumental. Freaking monumental, right? Something that we knew was going to happen. We just didn't know when, right? And it's happened relatively fast. It really has. It's happened very, very fast in my opinion, which is fantastic. But what I'm getting to is even if Bitcoin just hovers around, let's just say, because it's going to fluctuate right now, right? We're in all bull run, mode right now, but even during these bull runs, we could see Bitcoin even retrace back down to like 105, those areas, but it's still holding massively, right? The point of what I'm getting to is if as long as we stay around these solid areas, we're literally probably 2 to 4 to maybe 6 weeks away from your favorite altcoins and your favorite meme coins going absolutely ballistic. And I'm telling you this right now just because we saw the same thing happen in 2021 where Bitcoin was breaking 50s and getting up into the 60s. At that time, $60,000 was the 110K, right? That was like oh my God, Bitcoin is at $60,000 right now. Like you just couldn't believe it just because like literally 2 months before that, we were in the 20s, right? We were in the 20,000s. So we're at 60K. It was like crazy. And everybody's like, alts were doing decent, right? But they weren't, just going crazy yet. Bitcoin kind of was hovering around those areas. We're seeing fluctuations, but it was staying solid. Within weeks, alts just started going parabolic. You started seeing Dogecoin, Shiba, you name it, down the road. And not just meme coins, but also, your fundamentals, your big projects, Ethereum breaking $4,000+, but it was a lag effect where it was like a few weeks. I think Ethereum and like Solana, XRP, right, and maybe a few other big cap projects, right, that had the use behind it are going to probably move first, right? Now I say that, and we could see meme coins really sweep up and start going crazy first. I think that Ethereum, again, Solana, a lot of these bigger cap projects that have use behind them are probably going to be the ones that are going to break out or start seeing a breakout, within these next like couple days, these next few weeks, where like they're really breaking out. And then you're going to see everything else follow behind it. Now, memes could start just popping out as well because we are in a meme coin kind of environment as well. Like it's back in 2021 there wasn't a lot of memes. There was Dogecoin, Shiba, and maybe a few other meme coins. It wasn't like it is now. It's like I feel like there's probably 90% of the crypto space is freaking meme coins, right? So EO said, I'm still holding a big bag long term. I took my initial investment out. Listen, you're not going to go broke taking profits whatsoever, right, bro? I think you have a good thing though on that project. We're talking about arm trusts. I would just keep an eye on it. Like I said, if you're looking to get back in, not financial advice, just keep an eye out on gold, right? Keep an eye out on gold. If gold has a little bit of a retracement, which it looks like right now, gold is slightly starting to come down a little bit, right? If you do see some retracements in gold, you might have an opportunity to jump back in on that arm trust. So be patient. Keep an eye out, or I'm keeping an eye out on the S&P right now. The markets have flipped green as of now. Bitcoin, she's kind of hanging there right now. We're right at that 111 area. One thing I don't want to see is some kind of a M pattern form. If we do see an M pattern form on Bitcoin for right now, and I mean this is temporarily, we might see a little bit of a cool off for Bitcoin. Let me pull up my other chart here because we'll have a little bit of better areas to look for some support. Because we technically are in price discovery mode, as we're in right now, right? I mean, if you think about it, Bitcoin being above 110,000, there's not really a lot of areas you can see that are like, all right, this is support, this is resistance. We're in this kind of a discovery zone where we kind of bounced right here. I'm looking at previous, just from yesterday, where we've kind of hit our head. You can see this where we've kind of bounced already. This 110,900 area is going to be a spot that we want to see us hold for right now. So I'm not really too worried as of now, right? I mean, obviously you can see some kind of a small temporary, this is on the 30-minute, some kind of a small temporary double top, but nothing really to be worried about, guys. I think if we really zoom out and look at a different chart that doesn't have so many freaking lines on it, and you zoom out and you look at like this weekly, you're like, holy, I mean, look at this weekly on Bitcoin. Just massive, massive, massive. Absolutely massive. Now, I wouldn't be surprised because Bitcoin likes to do stuff like this where you see how we had this run up, we had a top, a little bit of a cool off, we had another top, right, in pattern or double top, then we had the cool off, but look what followed, right? We went for another run. I wouldn't be surprised if something like that potentially, is going to continue to happen, right? Go on the next run, make new highs, right? I don't know how high we're going to go right now. Let's just say we're at 112, and then we see somewhat of a cool off. I'm just, picking a spot. We cool off maybe around no, we're not going down to 100. But you guys get the gist, right? And then we go, see a little bit of a cool off again, and then it does it again. This is something that we could easily see with Bitcoin as we move. Because, I mean, if you look, that's pretty much what we've done, right? You can see all these small little double tops as we've moved, but we just continue to make newer highs and higher lows as we move. So cup and handle. Oh yeah, I do see. Ricky's saying we should get another breakout soon. Possibly. Bro, the only thing right now that I think is really, well, I don't even know, because the U.S. market right now is not doing bad, right? I was expecting maybe a little bit of a bloodbath today for the U.S. markets, given with the bond market and stuff like that. Really, it's not. It's really not. I mean, everything, it's weird. The VIX is up while the market's kind of flat. The VIX is up 1%. Everything seems just kind of flat. Again, when you look at like the stock market and you're looking at, am I in the way here? Well, no, you guys can see right behind me, right back here, right? Everything, this is all the crypto space, right? So you have the stock market up here, which is slightly in the green, right? But if you can zoom in, it's like up 0.1% on each one. And you look at all this is all crypto. Everything's up like 4, 5, 6, 7, 10% as of right now. So things don't look too bad. So if we're going to come down, I would just keep an eye out for right now for this 110.3 area. If we even come down to it, right? This is a spot that we've kind of hit our head on it, right? But we've also bounced off this area as well. So it definitely is going to be some support. So we'll see how this plays out. We'll stay live with you. Excuse me. If you guys have any projects you want to look at, let me know. Jumping over to the Feds, right? If you're waiting, if you're hoping, praying, oh, Mr. Jerome Powell, please come. We need you right now, even though we don't. But Jerome Powell, if you could just start reducing interest rates, that'll send Bitcoin up to 150,000 so fast. I don't think he's going to do it for us, guys. I think we're on our own, which, you know what? We're killing it on our own, right? Jerome Powell, I don't think is going to be reducing interest rates anytime soon right now, guys. 95% of investors are basically saying that we're going to see nothing but a pause on this next meeting, which is technically in about a month from now in June. If we go over to July, I mean, it really doesn't look any much better. I mean, 70% of the market's calling for a pause, 29% saying some kind of a small reduction in interest rates. From what I'm hearing is that right now the Feds are basically saying prepare to only see maybe one reduction in interest rates going into this year. Or not going in, we're already in this year, but basically going in through the rest of the year, which is just insane, right? Because if you guys remember the end of last year, we were expecting 4 rate cuts. And now they're saying you'll be lucky if you see even one, right? So I honestly, like right now, I think most investors with crypto particularly are just like, who freaking cares right now? Who cares, right? That's the least of our worries. Let's pull up Sui, because if you guys were watching earlier, Sui, one of the biggest dexes on Sui, got hacked earlier, and it is it's really, I mean, it is affecting Sui particularly, but not too bad, right? We pulled up the projects on Sui, and I mean, like I said, for some of these projects right now, they're down 80, 70, 90%. If excuse me, if these projects do see some kind of a resolve, you'll probably see these things jump right back up. So these could be possible moves on some of these projects, but it is risky. If you guys were wondering, we already kind of went over the article, but Sui's biggest liquidity provider, Sinus, hit by $260 million hack. So basically what they did was they pulled a lot of the liquidity out of this DEX pool, right? So imagine, this is like equivalent to, imagine on Solana, Radius or Jupiter gets Radium or Jupiter gets freaking hacked, and they pull all the liquidity out of those swaps. Like, just imagine that's what the equivalence is on Sui. So I'm gonna check something real quick. I'm looking on another monitor. See if there's anything going on live right now. They got the Diddy trial live. I'm just looking to see if there's anything going on with the bonds, anything else. Nothing else really. Jump over to Twitter. How long you guys think it's going to take until Bitcoin hits $1 million? I think it's going to take a little while. Peter Schiff checks Bitcoin's price. Oh, here we go. It's today. Is it today's pizza day? Look at this, guys. If you guys have been in crypto, we know 15 years ago today, this guy bought 2, I think it was Papa John's pizzas. 10,000 Bitcoin he traded for 2 Papa John pizzas. It would be worth $1.2 billion as of right now's price. Look. It says when Bitcoin breaks all-time highs, but you're holding alts. She's dancing but crying. You guys remember yesterday? I did a poll in regards to how many, if basically looking to see in the chat how many people were actually holding Bitcoin. And what was it? Almost 65%, I think it was, people don't hold Bitcoin, right? Or weren't holding Bitcoin, you know, and I'm like, I'm just like thrown back because we're all like, yes, Bitcoin, 120K. But we're looking at our portfolios and we're like, nothing's changed for us, you know? It's just like, but like I said, it's going to change. It's going to change. It will change, guys. Punk said Andy Aether, what is he? Andy Aether and Landwolf. Are those projects? Excuse me. Excusez-moi. Look at this. So the user James Win Real is now long over $1 billion on Bitcoin on the 40X. So this guy, if you guys remember, he actually didn't he? If this is the same guy, I feel like I'm getting conflicting stories here, but Arkham's obviously going to be the one that's correct. Arkham is clicked on the wrong picture here, but Arkham, they're correct. But I was seeing, this is the guy that opened up the 40X long. What was it, like $400 million worth of Bitcoin, if I'm not mistaken. Now they're saying that it's worth, this is acts of earlier. Ricky said we have yet to close above the 4-hour candle above 110. Let's pull up your 4-hour, bro. This is the 4-hour. I see some above 110. You know what I'm seeing on the 4-hour, bro? Is a bull flag. That's what we're seeing is a bull flag here. We could easily come back down. Right? We could easily come back down to 110 easily, still be in this channel for a nice little breakout. This is the guy that has Bro, isn't this the guy? I feel like we talked about this guy before. Look at this. He said, oh yeah, he called this back in 2023. He said he predicts Pepe will go to a $4.2 billion market cap, and he did. That's crazy. Is this guy some kind of prophecy? I think this is the guy that owns Moonpig. Now that I'm starting to get it all, I think this guy owns Moonpig. It's on Solana. Damn, look at this. It's up 151%. 21 days. I'm pretty sure this guy owns Moonpig. I want to actually put this on. I believe that this guy's going to be like some freaking like Kevin Hart. Bro, $1 billion, two pizzas, $1 billion, bro. Excuse me. Bro, I wish I would have I heard about this project a while back, this Moonpig. This is the guy, James Nguyen. I'm pretty sure he runs this project. He owns this project, Moonpig. He's been promoting the shit out of it. And this is the guy right now that technically has a long position that's worth $1 billion, if I'm not mistaken, right now. Right here, user James is now long over $1 billion of Bitcoin on a 40x leverage. BlackRock's been buying. They verified 23 hours ago. BlackRock's been buying. If this freaking Moonpig drops down, I definitely want to buy in. What so EOS, you said, oh, Punk. It was Punk. Let's pull up Landwolf. You said it's on Ethereum? If this is a project you speak of, it looks like you guys are hitting your head at the 786 at around the 59 right now. Market cap's at 53 million. So I mean, it's decent. It's been out for over a year. Market cap 53 million, almost 54. Liquidity at around 2.6 million. So it doesn't look too bad. Like I said, you're hitting your head as of right now around that 61 on the 786. So definitely want to break that, find it as some support. You haven't been able to. You broke above, but you cannot find support above that 786. So if you can find that support, you guys will be blasting up towards the 618 at around the 1090, breaking eating up a zero on that one. So Bitcoin, we did drop down to about 110.6 for right now. Looks like we're back up to that 111,000 area. So as of right now, guys, I'm telling you, any dips that we do see are probably going to be eaten up fast. They really are. They're going to probably be eaten up fast. So even if you see Bitcoin for whatever reason just sporadically drops down, to some of these levels down here, I wouldn't be too worried, because most likely what we've seen, right? I mean, remember last night we saw this massive candle, probably one of the biggest red candles we've seen in the last week or two. Massive red candle, thinking, all right, we might be cooling off here a little bit. The market's closed, the stock market, and Bitcoin runs up and makes new all-time highs, right? So I mean, I don't think they can stop the bulls right now. It's just too bullish. It's too bullish right now. Anything else breaking out? We have some meme coins starting to break out. Pepe, not looking too bad. Up about 7%. Jasmine's up about 5%. Still holding that trend. Looks pretty good. At around 1.9. So we're getting close. Jasmine's getting close to that pivotal 2-cent mark. Excuse me. That, if you guys remember when we were on our way up here, probably what was it, like 6-8 months ago, it was a struggle for us to break that 2-cent mark and stay above. So hopefully we get it back above that 2-cent mark and stay there. Bunk up about 8%. Not looking too bad. Like I said, Myro, same thing, up about 8%. Fetch AI up about 6%. Fetch AI looks pretty freaking bullish in my opinion. 85 cents too. Probably not, still not a bad move. I was calling Fetch in the members only stream. Punk, thank you so much for the $5, bro. I do appreciate that. Definitely, bro. And listen, we'll anything that you want to look at as far as the charts for your DeFi, we'll pull it up. If I don't look at it today or right now, we'll pull it up later on the later stream. So no worries, dude. I appreciate it, brother. Fetch AI, I called this out when we bottomed on our members only stream. I said this right here was a big move that I thought was a big play. When we dropped down to about 30 in those 30 cents, I said that this was probably a solid buy right here. And you guys can see, I mean, at the time, anything was a solid buy, right? Everything was down. I mean, Solana was at like $110, right? I mean, just anything at the time was a solid buy. But this right here was a big move because you can see for a $1 billion project up 150% from that bottom from when we called it on the members only stream. So solid move right there, Fetch. And I do think that it has a lot more room to move. Obviously, like I told you guys, I mean, if you are holding your alts, we are literally probably 4 weeks away from alts going absolutely apeshit. And I say 4 weeks hesitantly, right? Because I wouldn't be surprised if maybe in the next week or two we start seeing alts. And I don't mean you're up 10%. I mean like where you're seeing projects just running 20, 30, 40% daily, just day in, day out as we're running up. Punk, you said you're bouncing into surgery, bro. I hope if it's for you, brother, I hope everything's good. Hope you're safe, brother. Let us know when you get out, all right, man? But yeah, we're literally just weeks away from probably a massive move, guys. Massive move in the altcoin community. So ICP up about 4%. You guys know I definitely am a big backer on ICP. ICP likes to like kind of stay in the shadows for a while. You know, it stays in the shadows and then it's like out of nowhere, ICP will just start running and running and running. So XRP been real quiet lately, right? It's been very quiet. This was a head and shoulders that I had been calling whenever it topped out. Excuse me. Technically, the head and shoulders did play out because we did drop. But you can see XRP at around $2.42. It's been quiet. It'll come back alive here. Solana, 180, 178 right now. Possible W pattern maybe formed on Solana right here. Solana might be taking that moonshot here soon. We'll see. I'll keep that W right there. That sloppy W. Me lady, not looking bad at all. Holding the trend, but really not doing much, right? And then we have Ethereum breaking above that 2,600 level, up 4%, outperforming Bitcoin for today, technically, right? But not, if you zoom out, not outperforming Bitcoin, right? So, but looks good, right? We're back into this consolidation area that I said Ethereum likes to stay in before some kind of a break. Before was the break towards the downside. We're back in it. I'm sure we'll probably break towards the upside. I mean, if you think about it, for Ethereum, particularly if we pull up the daily and you look at Ethereum, this was from its all-time highs in 2021. You can see we've only broke above this trend once, and that's when we hit our head at that 4,100 area. This is back in December of 2024 when alts broke out briefly, right? But as we approach back up to this trend, really for us to break above the trend it might be a lot easier this time because the trend's technically at around 3,700. So by the time we get up there, Ethereum could break above this trend, finally break out of this downward trend that it technically has been in since it made all-time highs back in 2021. I don't know, guys. We might see, that's what I'm saying, in the next few weeks, if Ethereum continues to come up, right? Obviously, we would need dominance to be breaking down, but we could see a $4,000 Ethereum come in here shortly in the next week or two, or at least, like I keep saying, conservatively in the next 4 weeks, as I do think that, the alts are going to break out in these next few weeks. I really do believe that we are going to see some massive moves. So if you're feeling impatient or like, man, why is Bitcoin only running and not the alts? It happens like this every time. Every time it happens. And you know what will happen is a lot of people excuse me, will sell off of alts, and then literally a week later they're going to be sitting here pulling their faces back because everything they sold off on has literally 2, 3, 4x'd within weeks. So bro, I'm kind of kicking myself I didn't grab that moon pig. This might be something we need to look at, Ricky. This moon pig right here. What is how much do they have in circulation? So 1 billion in circulating supply. I wonder, where's this guy at again? Follow him. Said you should bookmark and print this off and look at it every day as a constant reminder. Anyone who thinks we are further into the cycle, then you are wrong. Here's why. We had a pre-bull run rally because of the ETFs. Trump's inauguration caused bullish sentiment. 3, no altcoin season or euphoria. The best is yet to come. Okay. Look at this. Look at this, guys. So if you're looking at this, technically he's saying that we are going to potentially peak in July, which is 2 months from now. So right now we're obviously in May, and you can see the build up, right? And he's showing like in April, there's hope, recovery is possible, right? You go into like May, we're starting in there, June, optimism, this rally is real, right? That's basically what we're getting into June, right? And you're seeing optimism, people basically almost like the FOMO really starts to kick in, right? You get into like going through June, because I mean, this looks like this is like a few month period. This is technically like a 30-day period right here, and you're seeing belief, time to get fully invested, thrill, I will buy more on margin, got to tell everyone to buy, euphoria, right? The peak, July, I'm a genius, we're all going to be rich. And then August comes around, complacency, we just need to cool off for the next rally. Damn, that sounds so correct, right? September, anxiety, why am I getting margin calls, right? October, my investments are with great companies. This is basically, you can use this is Wall Street, but you can use the same thing as far as for crypto. And November, looks like in November, basically we get anger, who shorted the market, why did the government allow this to happen, and then so on, depression. You see this, Ricky? And you know what's crazy is, I mean, this is the first time I'm seeing this, but this would kind of go with what we were talking about on the member stream, right? About a earlier cycle for this time around, right? We brought this up. We brought this up as far as this year. You know, we asked around and we're like, what do you think as far as like, when are we going to top out? Is this going to be like 2021, like a normal 4-year cycle where the top is in November or later in the year? But a lot of us came to the conclusion that we saw a lot of things happen earlier this time, right? With ETFs, like he said, you know, with ETFs coming into fruition, we topped out early, right? We had a pre-bull market because of the ETFs, which is correct, right? We hit all-time highs before the halving, right? That's never happened in all of history of Bitcoin. Normally we hit all-time highs after the halving. Usually like 100 days after the halving is usually when you're seeing Bitcoin hitting some kind of an all-time high, right? We saw that pre-halving because ETFs. Trump's inauguration, we saw Bitcoin hit highs during the inauguration, right? That's when we hit that 109. And then now he's saying, or number 3, no altcoin season or euphoria. We haven't seen that yet, right? We haven't seen us get into a full altcoin season whatsoever. We've seen hints of it. We've seen little doses of it, but we haven't seen a full-blown altcoin season yet, which is usually the end of the run, right? Usually is getting towards the top of the market, the end of the run. We haven't seen that yet, right? So that's why you can see off of here, this guy right here, this is James Nguyen. This is the guy that right now that has $1 billion long open for Bitcoin, right? $1 billion long. He didn't open up $1 billion. It's gotten up to $1 billion because he opened it up at such a fantastic time of 40x, right? And this is basically what he's calling possibly potentially some kind of top in July. So, and this guy owns, I'm telling you, this guy is the guy that's running Moonpig. He's the guy running Moonpig. And now I want some Moonpig because this guy is everything he touches seems to be going into gold. So let's see here. Ricky said that wouldn't hurt my feelings. TJ said they found 160 million are restoring it to liquidity pools. What did I just say? Now, what's going to happen, TJ, is you're going to see Sui. Watch. All this red right here is about to start flowing back into the greens most likely, right? Still risky play in my opinion. But like I said, you can go degen and jump in on maybe some of these projects that got hit pretty bad. I mean, even like something like whatever this is, Sudang right here. I mean, its market cap's at $6 million, even being down 80%. The market cap's still at $6 million. So, I mean, this might be a play right here that you could potentially, not financial advice, but maybe jump in on and maybe catch, even if it's just going to run back up 60-70%. That could be a nice, quick little move right there on Sui. So, and if you don't want to jump in on Sui's DeFi, you could always grab Sui directly because Sui is down technically today because of the freaking hack as well, right? So, looks like it's starting to actually bounce back here. Yeah, look at that. It's starting to bounce back. So AI, what's going on, brother? It said, what do you think about B3 gaming on base chain? Currently at around 0.005. You know what? We have a couple people in here. I think Craig, one of our people is in here. He's not in here right now, but he always is screaming B3. What'd you say it was on base? Yeah. So I'm going to be honest with you, brother. I don't know anything about the B3 project itself. As far as like behind it, you know, any of the fundamentals or whatever, as far as it, you know, being a gaming platform or whatever, I know nothing about it. I haven't done any research on it. As far as the chart, what I'll say is, I mean, you can see $131 million market cap, liquidity at around $2 million. So looks decent. It's on base, right, which is a layer 2 for Ethereum. I think as Ethereum starts moving up, you're going to start seeing Base and everything running that's affiliated with Ethereum just start moving up. So, I mean, if this is a solid project, I mean, you can see, obviously, you are still down from all-time highs, obviously, but you're in a good spot right here where the price, in my opinion, long-term, probably wouldn't be a bad spot to be accumulating, right? Waiting for some kind of a big move coming. So you have a trend of higher lows being made for right now. As long as it holds this trend, you'll obviously continue to move towards the upside. So looks like you might have some resistance potentially coming up, because this, if you guys can see, this is where it's pretty much hit its head multiple times at around that 63.7 area right there. So, but I think long term, Base is a great platform, or not platform, but a great ecosystem, obviously being affiliated with Coinbase. So this project could have a lot of potential. Gaming hasn't really been spoke of a lot, right? You go back to 2021 and it was like gaming was a big thing, right? Because we were told gaming was going to be, like the big thing on crypto, right? People, not only gaming because everybody likes to game, but being able to game and earn crypto while you're gaming and stuff like that. So a lot of these, gaming cryptos popped up, but some of them couldn't survive or did very poorly during the bear market. And really hasn't been a lot, and in my opinion, a lot of talk about gaming back into crypto. Also back in those, go back to 2021, the games, if they were like strictly from crypto, the graphics were kind of crap. Now it's like AAA gaming, kind of just like Call of Duty and stuff like that. So definitely a lot of potential there, right? I think it's still an evolving, sector in the crypto space that right now is not getting a lot of limelight, but I think down the road, this could be something here. So it's one of those plays, bro, that like you kind of, it's like almost like gold, right? If you believe in it, right, gaming's going to be here for crypto, but is this going to be the project that really shines? It's like slow and steady DCAing. If this is the project you believe in, I think long term will play really well, and also catch those dips, right? If you see any massive dips or anything like that, market's taking a shit, take advantage of it. Ricky said he just found $160 million too. Now I have to go get it. AI, no worries, brother. Ricky said in 1 hour and 25 minutes, if we close our first full green candle over 110, our cup and handle will play out. Let's hope. Bitcoin is like all over the place today, bro. And this is something I was thinking about this the other day. When we were in a bear market, it seems like it's so long ago, right? Back in 2022, bro, imagine I'm doing videos daily and going live during bear market, and it was brutal, right? Because it was just like trying to like cheer people up. It was brutal. And we would see like Bitcoin would be at like 20 something thousand, and Bitcoin would run up $500, and everybody would be like, hell yeah, Bitcoin would be up $500. And I'm like, guys, this is good, but this isn't shit. I was like, when we're in a bull market, Bitcoin's gonna fluctuate $5,000-$10,000 on day ends, right? On some days, there's gonna be that much volatility, whether it's going just straight up or it's buying and selling up and down. And I feel like we're getting close to that, where we're gonna see days like that where we've seen it yesterday, right? For instance, yesterday alone, Bitcoin ran up to 109,900, and within literally, 2 hours, we dropped down to 106,200, right? So you're talking about a almost $4,000 fluctuation within an hour or two of Bitcoin, right? And then what happened 2 or 3 hours later? Bitcoin goes and runs up to $111,000+, right? So just so much fluctuation in the price right now, because that should show you how much money is coming in and out, mostly in Bitcoin right now, right? It's insane. It's insane. And that's also why I keep saying, if we see any small little dips with Bitcoin, there's nothing in the market right now that should spook anybody, right? And honestly, you should be confident that if we see a dip, you know, it's going to be eaten up quick as far as for right now, because things are just so bullish in the market right now. Now, you know, things can change, right? I hate bringing that up, but you guys know how we are in crypto, right? We're so bullish or we're so bearish, right? And everything freaking sucks. And then like a day later, it's just like we don't even remember that, and vice versa, you know? A lot can happen in a few crypto hours, bro. You're telling me, bro. AI said, I'm thinking about getting more DJing. Well, you know what? Right now, like I said, I think we're maybe a week or two away from alt really going absolutely crazy. So, I mean, you guys know I'm not real big on buying in particularly or adding to my bags when we're in like this area of greed and extreme greed. But I will say there are still a lot of plays to be made right now, and still time to kind of take advantage and add to your bags on whatever projects you think haven't really, you know, even moved yet, or if they have, they you know, there's still so much more potential for movement towards the upside, right? Right now we're at 73 greed. The top so far, if you guys remember back just in November of 2024, we went to extreme greed of 88. That's when dominance dropped down, right? And that's when Ethereum was up to 4,100. We went to extreme greed. So, I mean, we're not there yet. We're in greed. We've jumped up. Remember yesterday we were at like 69. You know, we were at 66 the day before. We're at 73 now. So we're starting to get towards that extreme greed. Even when we get into extreme greed, it's still not a bad area. It's just, it starts to give you that maybe local top scenario. And going back to that guy, remember, he's thinking that we're going to top out in July, potentially in July. So, I mean, if that's the case, alts, if he's thinking we're going to top out, let's just say at the end of July, that's giving us basically 5 weeks right now. I think that's I don't think that's enough time particularly, but I mean, if that's the case, you guys better have your seatbelts on, because we could potentially see some face melting moves coming up potentially. So Ricky said sometimes the timing of the money situation seems to happen in the green. Yeah, I agree. Run out of water, guys. I've run out of water. So it looks like for right now, guys, Bitcoin, we have some good support at around this 110.9 area. Didn't I just literally put the support level here? I think I did, right? You guys saw that, right? Because we're kind of, yeah, I mean, we haven't been in these areas. This is the only time that we've been here. So for right now, it looks like, yes, we've broken below briefly, but it looks like we're pretty much finding that support right now. This is on the 30-minute. Gino, what's going on, girl? We're finding that support around that 110.9 area, right? And we keep kind of bouncing off that area. So hopefully we can hold for right now, right? I mean, like I said, we've been running and running and running. If Bitcoin has a day where it's just kind of stagnant, I don't think that's going to happen. But if it did, who freaking cares, right? Who freaking cares? We have been running and running and running. But if you go back to what this guy was thinking, our boy James, it's my boy James here. If July is going to be some kind of a top, we got 5 weeks. We got 5 weeks, Ricky. And he's saying that euphoria is going to hit and we're all rich. You imagine that? 5 weeks from now, we see in the next 5, like, and not in 5 weeks, but I'm saying in 5 weeks. So like within the next 2 weeks, like I keep saying, I think alts are going to start really breaking out. But we see that from 2 week threshold, right? We start from 2 weeks from now, and then you go another 3 weeks after that of just massive money flowing in, right? Exit liquidity. It's going to be freaking insane. Absolutely insane. Ricky said, yeah, that would be 5 incredible weeks. It really would. And I mean, I don't know. I'm not buying it. I feel like July is a little bit too soon, but who knows? But it would all play out because, I mean, if you think about it, like we talked about previously for last altcoin season, right? That when we were in November, I mean, it really only lasted about 6 to 8 weeks technically during that time, right? So when we ran up, excuse me. When we ran up, this was altcoin season pretty much in November, right? We were running up. We had October is pretty much where it started. And this is Bitcoin's chart, but alts, this is pretty much when alts went parabolic, right? It was from October to literally the end of November. So you're talking 6 weeks, essentially. All up until then, right? Alts were building up, right? From this massive drop that we saw during the mid-year. They were building up, but when we're talking about altcoin season, I don't think people honestly understand how fast things are going to move, right? Things are going to move so flippin' fast that when the 5 weeks or 6 weeks is over with, or 8 weeks, however long it lasts, and we look back, you're going to be like, holy shit, you're not even going to remember what the hell happened because it's just so fast. So much money is being made. Projects are moving so quickly, right? So quickly. But just like in this picture, whether it's July or August or September when we really top out, right? It's going to be the same thing right here where we top out, right? And we start moving down. People are still going to be holding their bags, right? They got that exit liquidity that came in, but they're still going to be holding their bags because the greed is not going to allow them to sell, right? No, I was told I was going to be a millionaire if I bought this meme coin. This $100 is supposed to turn to $1 million. I'm not selling. I know this $100, it's worth 10 grand now. Not enough. I'm not selling. And we start moving down, right? And what is he saying? Oh, we just need to cool off for the next rally, right? I can see people saying that, and the September hits. We're farther down. Why? Well, this is because of stock market. He's saying, why am I getting margin calls? But September anxiety hits and you're like, shit, should I have, that was at the top, should I have sold? I'm going to just hold on, hopefully. And by the time you go to sell, that $100 is back to being $100, right? And you missed out on that 10 grand because you were sold on the idea that your $100 was going to turn into $1 million, right? So Jana said, can you check Libra and Mog? Yeah. I think we saw Libra wasn't Libra one of the bigger movers today? I believe it was. Excuse me. Pull up a different chart here. Libra has these crazy, I mean, you see, Gene, I know you're aware of it, but it has these crazy where like this thing will shoot up 40 or 50% and then it's like comes back down. One thing I will say is regardless of, those crazy scam wicks or whatever you want to call them, it's still making higher lows as it's moving. So, I mean, looks good. As of now, you're coming up towards that 0.5 area at around the 6.2 cents. That's where you're at right now. That's pretty much a big spot for some resistance. But if you can break above and get that support, you'll definitely start moving up and breaking up towards the, it looks like this is the 382 area right here at around the 7.5 cent mark. That's going to be a big spot for some resistance around that the 382 at around 7.4 cent mark. So, but first we need to tackle breaking above the 382 area right here. I think that's the 382, right? Oh, that's the 0.5. I'm sorry. The 0.5 area we need to hold as some support at around the 6.2 area. So right now, as you're running up, it's technically resistance for right now. So, but this project, honestly, Gina, she called this out like a while back. I mean, this thing it's been a mover for sure. You can't say it hasn't. MOG. No one has come in here and asked about MOG in a while. Nice little move towards the upside for MOG. Is MOG about to run back up to that $1 billion mark? So let's see here. So MOG broke above some pivotal spots as resistance, right? You can see textbook move right here where it runs up, basically hits its head at this resistance level, a little bit above, but hit its head right there, comes back to retest this support level at around the 94, and then look at that nice breakout we're having as of right now towards the upside. So looks good. On the daily, you have your 200-day moving average. This is on your SMA, simple moving average right here. This probably will be a big spot for some resistance temporarily at around the 1.3 to 13 mark. So we'll see if this can move up. I would be more focused on if this can hold this resistance level as support, the 12.3. That's going to be a big spot. If it can hold that 12.3 area as some support, this thing is just setting back up for another big move. And that's what you're going to see, Gina, right? You're going to see these moves up, right? Profit taken, maybe a little bit of a sell-off, but it holds a lot of its gains, gets that support, bounces, makes a new local high as it continues to move, and it kind of is going to do that same play as it's moving towards the upside for right now. But I'm telling you, and I'll use MOG as an example, what I think, as long as we can hold some these solid levels for Bitcoin, and Bitcoin can thrive, right? As soon as we start seeing this dominance moving down, which I think is going to be coming soon, you're going to see alts exploding. I've said this 1,000 times already on this stream, but a project like MOG, you're not going to see these plays anymore. You're just going to see a God candle where this thing is just up 200% in a day, right? Maybe a little retracement after that, and then followed by another freaking 75% move after that. Like things like that is what we're going to be seeing soon for alts. A lot of these alts, especially these meme coins that are undervalued right now, that were like MOG. This was $1 billion project just a few months ago. Now it's probably in the few hundreds of millions for right now. So, I mean, this thing could potentially move easily back up to that $1 billion mark, and it's probably going to do it fast, right? So you're looking at a market cap of around 500 million. So it's halfway there. So Ricky, I appreciate you, bro. Bill, what's going on, brother? Ricky said, I'm going to have to take a 5-week break from work. And I know you own your company, right? So, but you better, if you have anybody that's invested in crypto in your company, keep an eye on them, because depending on what they own, bro, if it goes straight parabolic, they're going to be looking at you sideways. Like, you're going to be like, hey, can you go check that area over there? They're going to be like, I don't know, bro. They're going to be looking at you like, I done made so much damn money in this last week. I don't know if I want to work here anymore. Like, bro, you've been here for 30 years. All right, Ricky, so? I can't wait for those memes to start popping back up. You can be like, bro, you've been here for 30 years. And? I just made so much freaking money off of fart coin. I might retire. Gina said, sorry, I forgot about when. About when what? You forgot about when? You didn't finish your sentence, Gina. You forgot about when. When what? Oh, you forgot about when Lambo? Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Can you check when? Can I check when what? You keep giving me, you're not finishing your sentences. Can you check when? Can I check when what? When this is going to happen? Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Where is Win? Win's been holding pretty strong. Where is it? Okay. So $43 million market cap. Oh, man. Just moved my fib retracement. You guys know that freaking grinds my gears. Because I don't even remember. Okay. Should be right there. Freaking grinds my gears, bruh. Yeah, it should be there. I mean, Win looks great, honestly, right? We've seen a lot. I feel like with Win, a top indicator. Really, you think? I mean, what I was gonna say, Ricky, almost on the same lines is like, well, maybe I don't know. What I've been noticing is like you go back like 2 months ago and Win was like quiet, right? Didn't really see a lot of volume, nothing, right? And then out of nowhere, like I told Gina, I was like, watch, Win is probably gonna be one of those projects everybody's sleeping on, and then it just breaks out, and that's what we've seen, right? We've seen it break out. But what's crazy is it's broken out even more than like Myro, you know? So it's like, it just blows my mind. But it's been kind of moving in sync, like Win moves, Myro moves, you know, and you know, those, it's like the same kind of realm of meme coins on Solana kind of all move together, almost like the same money. It's kind of buying and selling. But Win's been, I mean, it looks great, right? Especially if you were to take advantage of this bottom right here. I mean, it looks like it's been making nothing but higher lows as it continues to move, you know? So, excuse me. Sorry, I'm getting over a cold, guys. I don't mean to cough in the mic. As far as like Win, you can see obviously resistance level somewhere around the 382 for right now. That's going to be somewhere around that 76 area right now, but it looks like it's holding some good support around the 618. Yeah, the 618. You can see it's some good support as of now on the 618. So I wouldn't be surprised, right? Like I keep saying, meme coins start coming alive in the next week or two, or whatever the case is, start coming alive, and you'll start seeing Win just start breaking out, right? But when is it going to break out? When? You know? I can't be the only one that makes little cheesy dad jokes on Win. I just can't be it. Just can't be. But she looks good. She's been outperforming Myro, which blows my mind. And then Maniki too. Where is Myro? All right, thank you, Gina. At least gave me a LOL on that one. I appreciate it. Myro's not looking bad either, bro. Not looking bad. I'm glad I added to my bag when we had a little bit of a drop. Not looking bad at all. And still so undervalued, right? $35 million market cap. This thing has so much potential to easily 10x, even from where it's at right now, right? Don't get me started on just down here when it was at a $10 million market cap. I think in the next like month or two, we're going to come back and just look at some of these projects and be like, bro, why didn't I like freaking start stripping so I could buy more Myro and Win and whatever, you know? You're going to look back at a lot of these projects like, why didn't I just do anything possible to just put everything in to some of these projects that were at like $8 million market caps, 10 million, $20 million market caps, you know, and in a month from now, 2 months from now, they're at freaking, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars per market cap. I think those times are coming, guys. I really do. For the alts, I really do. Looking over at Bitcoin, just keep an eye on it. Bitcoin's still looking great. I mean, we're still at 110.8 for right now. It looks like we dropped down just now briefly. We're on the 30-minute. We dropped down to about 110.5, 110.6, somewhere around there. So, I mean, nothing really to be too worried about at all. I mean, freaking Bitcoin 110,000 is just absolutely insane. absolutely insane here. This move's going to go down in history, just what we've seen in the last few weeks. Straight up history. Because you guys know, once Bitcoin gets up to like, you know, like certain levels where, you know, like Bitcoin's at like $500,000, it's not going to have moves like it does now. You know, it's not going to have moves like what we're used to. So much volatility going up or down. You know, it's just going to be really stagnant. It's going to have days where it's up and down, but, you know, big moves when you're talking about Bitcoin at $500,000 per Bitcoin is going to be like 0.5%. You know, they're going to be like, holy crap, Bitcoin just went up or went down 0.5%. That's going to be a big move. You know, right now we're seeing freaking just like insane days where it's just like Bitcoin will literally run up percents on percents, you know, just like it's nothing. So looking right now, remember that 110, the 110,931 area, right? It's coming back up right now to retest it. Again, we're on the 30 minutes, so we're keeping an eye on it, but definitely want to see that break above and at least hold that as some support. Looking at the MACD, I mean, we're not really in over sold areas either, right? We're kind of in that little middle area where we've seen, you know, some big moves towards the upside on the MACD. We're kind of in an area where, I mean, obviously we could go either or, right? We could either bounce back up and continue up, or we could potentially see some kind of a nice little cool off, which I think a cool off would essentially be us cooling down to like maybe, you know, 110, 110.3, or maybe coming back down to this 109.4 area, somewhere around there for Bitcoin. But like I keep telling you guys, if we do see that, I wouldn't really even freaking worry about it or even hesitate, because this thing's going to probably at some point, we're at the point now that people are watching, right? The FOMO is set in. Maybe they're looking at $110,000 Bitcoin and they're like, man, if this thing even drops down to like 109, I'm buying, right? Or I'm opening up a long if it drops down to, you know, some of these levels. That's why we're seeing, when you see Bitcoin drop down, you know, to just a little level, it just bounces and it just keeps making new highs, because that's what's happening, right? Now that 109 level, just 2 days ago, 109 was our top, right? Now that 109 is like looking juicy to where people want to just buy in. They're like, hell yeah, that's a good spot to jump in or open up a long or whatever the case is. So I think we have nothing really to worry about here. And the market's honestly, we're still in the green for crypto. As far as the stock market, it's been really just stagnant, real stagnant today. Nothing really, not a big sell-off, not a big, you know, upward movement. The VIX is literally flatline, the dollar flatline, the Dow Jones flat. Everything is just flat right now. Everything. Tesla's up 1.6% at $340. Gold slightly down. Crypto is really the only thing that's in the greens where people are making money right now. And that's something that we have in our pocket. That's great. Let me check and see if there's anything going on that we can watch as far as live coverage. Dude, no one wants to watch the damn live Diddy trial. FDA commissioner testifies in front of Senate. No, we don't need that. What is this?
Wix.
Let me see. We might have something to watch here. Oh, small plane crash. No. I was looking to see if they had something live on Trump's bill that got passed. Oh yeah, let's let me see here. Bring this in.
I hope he realizes it's time to do so.
On the Ukraine war.
If not, the Senate stands ready to act.
But with last-minute concessions, waiting heavily, though. Maybe about 2 points, then back in the negative. So it's still very early, though, so we'll have to see how the trend continues throughout the rest of the day. In the meantime, we also saw early this morning, if you were up with us that early, I want to bring you here to this live image that we have over at the Capitol building as we saw House Republicans pass President Trump's tax bill. They stayed up all night to pass that multi-trillion-dollar tax breaks package.
And this had crypto
House
in
Speaker
it too,
Mike
as well.
Johnson defying the skeptics and unifying his ranks to get President Trump's priority bill to approval on Thursday. So we brought that moment to you live as soon as the gavel was hit. We were showing some of the remarks that were made by Speaker Johnson, also by House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. As we know, the Democrats had been heavily pushing back against this bill. But with last-minute concessions, the Republican holdouts largely dropped their opposition to salvage that one big beautiful bill. That's what it's being called. That's central to that GOP agenda. The House launched a debate before midnight, and by sunrise, the vote was called at 2:15 to 2:14, with Democrats still opposed. Now it heads to the Senate. The outcome caps an intense time on Capitol Hill with days of private negotiations and public committee hearings, many happening back to back and around the clock. If you were with me early yesterday morning, I was showing you how the House Rules Committee was also debating this bill and calling on witnesses there, trying to get those concessions in place, trying to see where they were going to go from here. And yesterday's meeting actually started at around 1 a.m. East Coast time on Wednesday night. That's around 10 p.m.
Bitcoin's
West Coast time. So they were at it all night and then even early this morning. Now, Republicans insisted that that more than 100-page package was about voters sent them to Congress. Well, why they were sent to Congress and why they sent President Trump to the White House. They believe it will be rocket fuel, as one of them put to the debate, for the uneasy U.S. economy as we continue to see global markets responding to those tariffs that have been placed by the Trump administration. Now, the president himself demanding action, visiting House Republicans at Tuesday's conference meeting and hosting GOP leaders and the holdouts for a lengthy session on Wednesday at the White House. And we showed that as well. He made some comments as he was entering into Capitol Hill to some of the reporters that were staked out there. But before the vote, the administration warned that in a point-in statement, a failure to pass this bill would be the ultimate betrayal.
He said there would be betrayal. Bitcoin's holding, guys. She's holding. Not looking bad. Well, listen, guys, I guess we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here for the morning market open. I know not much really going on right now other than us breaking all-time highs. Remember, we will be back here in a few hours a little bit later on, or if the market starts going apeshit again, we'll come live. But other than that, if you're holding alts and you're like, why the hell aren't my alts moving? Have patience. I'm telling you guys, we are literally approaching that finish line, right? We don't know if the finish line is going to be, July, November, whatever the case is, but we're approaching that finish line. If you've been holding for the last, at least 6 months or a year, right? It's all going to pay off here soon. Obviously, my opinion, not financial advice. So, again, thank you guys so much. If you're watching this after the fact, hit that like, and I will see you guys a little bit later on for our evening stream. All right, guys? Thank you again. See ya.